Okay, and we are live, right? Welcome everyone to the latest episode of Cronos Stream, right? So welcome to all Crow fam, right? Everyone who is tuning in either on YouTube or Twitter, right? It's once again the latest episode of Cronos Stream, and this time we have a lot of speakers with us today on the AMA representing various projects, right? So just to kickstart with an introduction, right? If this is the first time that you are tuning in, you can see that there's a QR code on the top left corner, right? Do scan it, right? It leads to Cronos Chain YouTube account where you can find the latest updates that are being streamed on our YouTube channel. Right? And regarding all updates that are shared on the Cronos stream, disclaimer is that everything is only meant to be only informational and not financial advice. Okay, so now let's dive into who are the speakers with us on the AMA today. Right. Firstly, my name is Jay, and I'm part of the Cronos Labs partnerships team. And I am the host of the weekly episode of Cronos Stream. Today with us, we have 5 speakers. I'll give each speaker roughly 15 to 20 seconds to introduce yourself, right, starting from Ken. Please go ahead.
Hi, my name is Ken Timsit. I'm the head of Cronos Labs, which is the R&D and ecosystem development arm of Cronos blockchain. Over to Vasista.
Yeah, Vasista.
Hey, thank you, Jay and Ken. I am Vashisht, but you can call me Vas. I am the CMO at Krystal Wallet.
Awesome. Right. Otnil.
Hi, hello everybody. You may know me as Ordinary Reverse. I'm Leandro and I'm
Right. Great to have you here. And I think it's very interesting that you're tuning in from the outdoors. Thanks for taking the time to join in today. Next we have Bartosz.
Hi everyone, it's Bartosz, CEO and founder of our network, which is a community-driven platform for emerging investments. I'm also responsible for the vision of the product as well as the strategy of the product. So thank you for having me.
Right, great to have you here, Bartosz. Last but not least, we have Steve.
Hey Jay, thanks for the intro. My name's Steve Everard. I'm in charge of business development over at Pwn. We're an Oracle-free peer-to-peer lending and borrowing marketplace, and looking forward to chatting with you guys more about Cronos here today.
Right, awesome, and thanks for all of the speakers joining us today. Right, it's an honor to have you guys on with us. Right, so the agenda for the Cronos stream is as such. Right, firstly, Ken will be giving an update on the latest happenings on the Cronos ecosystem. So after Ken has shared the updates on the ecosystem perspective, then we'll dive deep into each protocol. Right? Each project will have roughly 10 to 15 minutes to give you guys an update of what has been happening on their projects itself. Right. So now let's dive into the Cronos updates. And one of the most exciting updates recently is the Cronos Summer Cruise, which has been ongoing, an ongoing campaign in partnership with Galaxy. Right, Ken, you want to give in a more detailed update regarding what's going on here?
Yeah, of course. So we have a pretty crowded panel today, so I'm going to keep the updates brief, and I just want to focus on reminding everyone that we have the Cronos Summer Cruise going on. So it's a campaign or hosted by Galaxy, where every user can earn points by completing on-chain and social quests. And once, at the end of the campaign, once we're able to tally all the points, then there will be a lucky draw whereby the top 10,000 users will win between $1 and $1,000 in CRO airdrop. And there will also be a distribution of NFTs, which were especially designed for this campaign. So at the moment, we have a few thousand registered participants, but we haven't reached 10,000 yet. So there is still a lot of room for you to participate if you haven't yet. It's designed to be, the quests are designed to be extremely easy to complete on your mobile, especially from within the Crypto.com DeFi wallet. So I encourage you to go to quests.crowfarm quests.me, quests.crofam.me, and then you can register with your Galaxy account and then complete the quests. So we have still 2 weeks to go for this campaign, and our marketing team may or may not have some interesting additional challenges to be announced next week to keep the journey interesting. So stay tuned. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks, Ken. And just for more context, the quests are actually very, very simple, right? For example, doing a very simple swap on PVS Finance, right? That takes roughly like 30 seconds. Do a simple deposit of stake Crow on Vino Finance, also a very, very simple quest. Swapping on Pharaoh. So all the quests probably takes maximum 30 seconds to 1 minute. And if you are diligent enough, you can complete all of the quests in under 10 minutes and be eligible for rewards. Right. So like Ken said, right, head to the quest page and get started if you have yet to. Okay, thanks, Ken, for the latest updates regarding Cronos and the Cronos Summer Cruise. And that was very short and sweet. So now let's dive into the projects. Right. So the projects, we have 4 projects with us today, right? Earn Network, CroSkulls, Pwn, and Krystal Wallet. Right. So we'll go in order, right? Each project roughly 10 to 15 minutes of a short specific AMA. And then we can, if let's say there's extra time, we will then open up the floor to Q&A. Right? So if you have any questions, do share it in the Twitter thread or on the comment section on YouTube. Right, so now let's start off with Earn Network. We have Bartos. I'm going to switch the screen into a more palatable view for speakers, where you aren't looking at a slide, but looking at the speaker's face. All right, so Bartos, right, very great to have you here. Earn Network, you guys have been making quite some noise on the chain after completing the accelerator program, right? But I'll let you have the honors to introduce yourself at Earn Network, right? So yeah, please.
Yeah, sure, certainly. So yeah, maybe I will just start with short intro about myself. So yeah, I spent over 15 years like building digital products. Yeah, I spent substantial amount of my time in banking in London, in Barclays, Deutsche Bank. Then I was also heading production, being head of UX, head of design in many companies. Came back to Poland. I helped one startup, like a gaming company, to kind of grow from 40 to 600 people. And then in 2018, I kind of started looking into staking and founded My Container. So My Container was one of the first staking platforms globally, first regulated in Europe. And yeah, there was a lot of learning that I gathered through My Container. So that gave me a lot of expertise, how operate the business, how to build a lot of interesting things essentially in the crypto space. And yeah, right now obviously we've gathered all of that experience, and we've came up with fully on-chain solution that is called Earn Network, right? So Earn Network, as you can see, as you can check, we went live on May with our mainnet version. So yeah, it's been pretty exciting. A lot of great feedback, a lot of stakers already. So only after 3 months, we managed to onboard over 10 projects for various staking solutions, including staking of NFTs. Over 700 stakers participated, over 100K TVL, and yeah, around $250,000 in terms of the volume. So it's been pretty exciting so far. I think I would say we're just getting started. We are really excited about working with many projects, looking for new emerging investment opportunities, trying to really bring a lot of interesting, again, investments from NFTs to staking to the community, and help a lot of projects to really cut the cost of deployment of their solutions and really kind of get to the market as fast as possible. So that is generally in the nutshell about us. Yeah.
Awesome, thanks for sharing. So it seems like you have 2 target audiences here, right? So number 1, projects, and number 2, the end users will be staking on your platform, right? So perhaps can you share from your perspective, like what are the features that will attract projects to partner with Earn, and what are the features that will attract users to come to our network?
Yeah, sure. Great question. So I think the way we look at this, maybe let's start with the project. So generally speaking, like I can maybe speak about the projects like what we have right now so far, what we've built in this last 3 months. So essentially, we have a lot of quite advanced staking pools, flexible and locked. You can specify the dates, the length of the pools. Regarding the staking of the NFTs, you can specify, distribution of the NFTs through staking of the tokens. In the future, you will be able to essentially stake tokens, receive NFTs, stake NFTs, receive tokens, stake NFT, receive NFT, and so on, so on. So this is essentially the primary objective for us. Now, what is really the most important for the project is that it really cuts down the cost to a very, very minimum. If you imagine if you had to build it on your own, it would have taken you so much time, and you would have obviously have to go through a lot of audits of your smart contract, build the UX, build the UI, kind of maintain it, the infrastructure, and so on, so on. We've done all of that for you. So all you have to do right now, obviously you as a project, you are focusing probably and hopefully on your main objective. So you don't want to deviate so much of building things that may not be your core focus. So this is where we come in. We essentially give you the platform with already kind of built-in solutions, plus the audience that we also have, so that you can essentially deploy various types of pools with us in, let's say, if you really do it very fast, then you can do it in under 1 hour. So again, this cuts you a lot of costs, and you don't have to really worry about, a lot of the things that I mentioned, like, hiring people, doing the audits, and so on, so on. So that's really what really we look in terms of the projects. Regarding the end user, so this is what we like. If we are able to lower the cost and provide those solutions to many projects, then we believe that those investment or emerging opportunities can really appear. What this means is that a lot of users have now access to those investment opportunities. So what we really want to provide is a kind of very simple platform to really utilize those opportunities that projects will essentially create. Now, apart from obviously providing a very easy solutions, not only for the advanced users, but primarily also for the people that are right now sitting maybe on the sidelines, they don't know how to use decentralized solutions. We really also focus a lot on the user experience, right? So this is really important for us, kind of trying to bring a lot of new users to the platform, maybe people that are currently using centralized platforms and kind of looking for some access to decentralized platforms to really capture those maybe opportunities from the NFTs, maybe various types of yields, and so on, so on. So this is essentially where we come in. We try to do it cross chain, really focus on providing very good support, really educating people how to do it, because that's where we believe the end kind of goal is to really move a lot of people on chain, where essentially there is this peer-to-peer kind of relationship between the parties.
Okay. Awesome. And I think sounds like you guys are really providing a service that saves time and cost to projects, and then for end users to get access to more yield opportunities regarding projects that they own or projects that they might not have heard about.
Exactly.
And they can earn both like ERC20 tokens and also NFTs, right? Which I mean, there's a lot of flexibility for projects themselves. So in the coming months, what are the upcoming features that Crow fam who are following your projects or just got to know your project, what should they be looking forward to?
Yeah, so this is what I mentioned. So we will, until the end of this month, we will provide those pools that will be available through the special access codes. So yeah, this gives opportunity also for projects to kind of engage in again new ways with their audience, maybe kind of gratifying those users with a special codes where they can get access to certain pools. Again, if you own maybe some NFTs, you will be able to receive certain NFT. That's in terms of the staking. In the next, say, months, we will be also focusing a lot on the new, let's say, verticals that would include also isolated pools, lending, liquid staking, and native restaking. So it's slightly, let's say, little bit outside of the standard staking. It's more of a expansion into different verticals. So in short, again, it's really kind of aligned with our strategy of like providing the array of many different yield earning opportunities on chain for many different participants. So that's really what's coming.
Right. Awesome. And I mean, just to share to those people who might not know, right? Earn Network and CroSkulls have recently established a partnership. Maybe you want to share more about it and what you are so excited about. Right? I'll get your thoughts later. But about this, you can share.
Yeah, that is super cool. I'm glad you brought it up, Jay. I think this was one of our first projects that we collaborated. I think this was first, probably. We had also collaboration with Bolis, but not really by deploying the pools. So yeah, this was great collaboration. I think it really showed that this ability for projects to really do something engaging, something innovative. I would say really something interesting to engage with the community. So yeah, essentially, if you are staking, I think it was 10,000 GRV tokens, you are able to receive an NFT, right? So yeah, there are still some available. So if you go right now to their network, you are still able to capture some of those NFTs. So yeah, that's something that you can do. And yeah, it was exciting. I really love generally. I think the community is amazing. I think it's very helpful, very genuine, very active. Yeah, again, that's really like, again, we are cross-chain, so I can share my experience regarding the CRO farm, and it's been great. I really think it's one of the best communities so far. Really, as I said, really engaging, very helpful. A lot of ambassadors that we worked with are really keen to help us to really promote all of those opportunities that we are doing. So yeah, so far, and again, we've only been doing yeah, as I said, first pool, and now there is a second pool coming with Marbleverse very soon. So yeah, again, we are very new on the chain, but so far I'm superbly like pleased and really satisfied with everything. So I have no no bad words to say, but only the positives. I wish all of the chains were taking this as an example. So yeah, so it's been a great collaboration and everything around it as well. So
all right, I mean, great to see that you guys are forming great partnerships and vibing well with the Crow fam. I think the Crow fam is indeed a very, very strong community, which many projects have managed to work together with the community and grow from there. Right. So Bartosz, right, thanks so much for coming today, sharing about Earn Network, and really looking forward to your upcoming partnerships, which is just leaked with Marbleverse. Looking forward to that, and I'm sure a lot of Crow fam that hold marbles would be very excited to see that as well.
All right.
Thanks for sharing. Okay, now let's move on to the next project, CroSkulls. Right, we have Otnil Rivers, who is the brand analyst from CroSkulls. How's it going? Right, give a quick introduction.
Hi. Sorry for the background noise. I'm kind of in the middle of nowhere, so it's full of cicadas. So yeah, I'm Ordinal, and I'm the brand analyst for CroSkull. So the project, if you are not familiar with CroSkull, is a gamified project on Cronos. We started really, really early on Cronos, one of the first projects to mint in December 2021. And yeah, CroSkull works with different things. It will be a browser game. Already we have some features like the missions and stacking, the adventure. We have Grave, our main token. This token is very useful, and it's the core token of the project. You need Grave to mint the eggs, which will later be hatched in eggs. And the pets will be really interesting. Will play a really interesting part in the next phase of our project, which is the Project Chimera. I already read people asking for Chimera project and new part. So yeah, it will be in the next months. There will be some exciting things. I'm very happy, as Bartos said, how Cronos, the entire ecosystem works, and especially how the project works together with them, with each other. So yeah, I think Cronos is a great chain to cooperate and collaborate with other projects. I'm in different chains, working and learning different things. But I have to admit, Cronos has this strong sense of community, and the collaboration of the project is something really, really useful. And we are putting like a layer base for the future, which is something I really, really appreciate.
Right. Awesome. So CroSkulls, you guys were probably one of the first few projects that launched on the chain. It's been close to 2 years, I would say, since you guys have been developing
Yeah.
testnet, launching on mainnet, growing your first NFT, growing your community. A lot of things has happened since you guys launched, right? But I'm sure the CroFam is always growing, right? New users always coming into the community, right? There might be users who might not be too familiar with CroSkulls, right? So for the benefit of those new users, can you share like what are the 3 key things, right, that a user who can join CroSkulls, who join CroSkulls, what can they do on the platform?
Okay, so the CroSkull ecosystem, as I said, it's based on a gamified experience. So you have the first collection, which is CroSkull Original. This collection has a 6,666 supply, and the CroSkull Originals can go on staking, so adventure, and you will earn 3 grave per day. Grave, as the core token of the entire ecosystem, allows you to buy the eggs, which will be hatched later. And with those pets, you have unique smart contract, which has been developed by our developer. It's something really interesting because it allows you to store data information inside the NFT, but not only metadata. It's an upgradable NFT. That means you have different levels because you can level up your pets, and is also used for another collection, which is EvoSkull. And you can maintain your in-game statistics even if you change, even if you send the NFT to another wallet or you sell them on the market. So I think for the gaming community, this can be something interesting because it allows people to maintain the progress inside the single NFT, and you don't have to have a centralized database that keep all the information of the game. You can keep them inside the NFT itself. So the pets in the near future, people are waiting for this new release. The pets are really important because you can use the pets to create chimeras. Information are being released slowly. We are trying to create a little bit of engagement, and we are working a little bit more also on the lower part of the project, which I think is something that can help people enjoy more the project. And yeah, basically with the pets you can create the chimera, which will use the same smart contract, but will have different tiers. So I can't say how those tiers will be released and how it will work. You will see in few weeks. And
Right.
yeah, this is what we are doing and we will do in the next month.
Right, awesome. I think it's great to see what you guys have built, right? Like a lot of NFT projects, I think the whole space is flooded with too many NFT projects, and a lot of projects merely are essentially PFP projects that might not have much on-chain gamification, right? So, I mean, of course, there's a space for different kind of NFT projects, but what you guys are doing, it's pretty interesting, right? Gamifying the whole on-chain experience, right? Allowing users to so stake the NFTs to earn certain amount of like other in-game assets, which then gamifies their on-chain experience on Cronos. I think that is what's very important, right? As for all Crow fam that comes into the ecosystem, they want to have a good experience on chain, right? Not just using DeFi applications, but having their NFTs to give them an experience that they will not be able to find on other places, right? So it's great to see that you guys are building out very interesting experiences with your adventures and upcoming Chimera project, right? But I think all the Crow fam are also looking forward to that, right? So maybe just a last word from your side, right? What can users look forward to, right, in the coming, let's say, 3 to 6 months? What are you guys like focusing on in terms of building?
Okay, so as I said before, the main token Grave is the core of the ecosystem, but it works also with other different tokens. We have Root, we had Souls and Sharded Souls. So everything in the ecosystem works together, and you have to create your own strategy, which I personally think it's one of the most important thing in a project, because you are not like there is not a strict path to follow in a project, but you can create your own strategy, which makes the more into a gamified project. People can do whatever they want, and something really interesting is that the project Chimera will be really important for the PvP part of this project. So we are trying to use the pets to create the part of the project Chimera, and we are trying to expand the ecosystem, giving different utilities to the main token. For example, we released, I think it was last month, the auctions. So in our DApp, you can bid on different NFTs. Right now, it's only for CroSkull NFTs, but who knows in the future. And we already have the raffle on chain. Everything is on chain because we are trying to keep everything the most decentralized as possible. And we are focusing to give an experience, a gamified experience to the people, but also, since the Grave token is the reward you will get from everything in the ecosystem, we want to keep the token with some utilities also.
Right. I think that's very respectable for NFT project to keep everything on chain. Like I see a lot of projects these days, they are doing more of a hybrid model, right? Off chain, on chain, right? Some data storage are stored off chain on their own servers, right? I mean, you guys definitely stuck to your roots, right? Keeping everything on chain, which is a great way to for you guys to build towards what you guys believe in. Right. So once again, right, thanks for coming on to share about CroSkulls and what you guys are building towards. For all the users who are tuning in and have not been a part of the CroSkulls community, right, do check out their Twitter and join their Discord. And if, let's say, you're interested to join their community, right, look into their NFTs across Minted and Ibisu's Bay NFT marketplace. Right, so thanks, Anya Rivers. Okay, so next project, we have Pwn. We have Steve from Pwn. Right, very great to have you on. And for all those of you who might not know, right, Pwn just yesterday, integrated Cronos. Right, so I shall give the time to Steve to introduce yourself and the project.
Hey, thanks, Jay. Yeah, like you mentioned, I know we've been in contact for a few months now, so I've gotten a pretty good introduction to Cronos and the ecosystem and just the great sense of community that I'll echo, like Bartos and or Neil mentioned earlier. It's just been an awesome road to getting deployed here. And then, like you said, we officially just rolled out live on Cronos yesterday. And what we're really excited about is kind of helping a lot of these projects here access DeFi infrastructure tools in order to lend and borrow against some of their Cronos assets, because that's what we do right now. We've set up like a very nice peer-to-peer lending platform where users can come borrow against any standardized token they have. So your ERC20, 721, 1155, put that up as collateral, get some liquidity against it, and then you're free to use that however you like. I'll keep that short and sweet as just the intro to the project before I start rambling on too much, and bounce it back to you, Jay, for some more questions.
All right. Thanks for the quick intro. And indeed, what you guys are bringing to Cronos, it's quite a bit of innovation that is a gap on the chain right now, right? So Cronos, I think historically there has been like lending borrowing platforms, which are typically more towards the Aave compound model, where there are either a general pool or isolated pool where users use ERC20 tokens as collateral to borrow certain sets of ERC tokens like ETH, BTC, or stablecoins. Right, and what you guys are offering to the table is really interesting. I read into your white paper, saw your documentations and the website. You guys allow for a greater range of assets, not just ERC20 tokens, but NFTs as well. Right? Would you want to elaborate more about that?
Yeah. So that's one of our core guiding principles here at Pwn, is just leaving things completely decentralized and open to whatever the two parties that want to agree to the loan come to terms on. So like you said, as long as it follows the standardized ERC20 721 implementations, you're free to use it as collateral. So no things like whitelisting or worrying about stuff like that. As long as it's a good asset on the platform, and then it's good to go and get a loan against.
Right, pretty good. So like, for example, CroSkulls here, if I own a CroSkulls NFT, I'll be able to use it to get a loan on, like, let's say USDC.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I was excited to hear. They CroSkulls is doing so much with their community as well in terms of all the sort of assets they have going, and that's exactly one of the use cases that we've seen previously on Mainnet and Polygon, is a lot of GameFi assets, so that users can borrow against those and also take out funds to really hype up their in-game experience and progress further in that sense.
Right, awesome. So like, I presume any CroSkulls holders here, I think that's an additional utility for your CroSkulls assets, right? If let's say it's not being utilized in the game, we are actually able to use it to take out loans on the platform. But can you share a bit more about how the structure works? Like, is there any liquidations on the collateral? How does the whole lending borrowing platform work?
Yeah, glad you mentioned that. So I think I touched on the Oracle free part when I gave my super quick introduction there at the beginning, but that is another one of our core beliefs, is that we have an Oracle free protocol. So there is absolutely no risk of liquidations. That's one thing that we really believe strongly, especially as I'm sure we're all familiar with. A lot of these either lower cap or GameFi assets can tend to be a lot more volatile, just because there's less rigid structure and the sense of market pricing around them. So the fact that there's no risk of liquidation throughout the lifetime of the loan is something that our borrowers and users are very find a lot of utility from, just in terms of getting sleep at night. I know that's been a hot topic lately. So one thing we're very happy to have as part of our platform.
Right. Awesome. And I guess this design is also something that, from my opinion, it removes a security attack from the lending borrowing platform, right? Because we see, especially in the recent days, a lot of lending borrowing platforms are facing Oracle-based manipulation, flash loan attacks on Oracle, especially when it comes to low cap tokens that will increase or decrease the value of the collateral to borrow more than what the user should supposed to borrow. So I guess that's something that you guys have designed in a way to reduce the attack vectors from Oracle manipulation. And I'm pretty curious, like, how does the roadmap of Pwn looks like? So right now you guys have built out this peer-to-peer lending borrowing. What's next for you guys in terms of product features?
Yeah, so I'll start off with our very long-term vision and what we're really looking to build here, which is a DeFi mortgage protocol. And a lot of people, when you hear mortgage, automatically just think real estate, of course, just because in day-to-day life, that's the term that we're all familiar with. But in the sense of mortgage, from our point of view, we're looking to just help users on DeFi platforms finance any kind of large-scale purchases. So whether that would be just kind of a blue chip NFT purchase, or whether that's something like acquiring a large stake in a DAO via ERC20s, whatever that large scale or large size purchase would be, that's what we're building to finance in a traditional mortgage sense. So things like payment installments, refinancing, stuff like that. That is, like I said, our coming year's vision. Right now, what we have in the pipeline are some really exciting features. One we just released is our collection offers. So lenders, say someone within the CroSkulls community, whether that's the treasury itself or just a very like a quote unquote whale within the community that's very familiar with the collection, wants to generate some yield. They say, hey, I know these assets, they're very solid. I'm familiar with them. I'll put up an offer. Anyone can come grab it for for 100 Crow against their Crow egg, I think was the NFT that seemed to be like the common one right now. So if they wanted to borrow against that, and sorry if I'm misquoting that, or Neil, I haven't had a chance to play the game myself yet, so don't hold that against me. But just for an example, that would be what that would look like. So just instant liquidity. Whenever you come to the platform, you can just grab the loan and get your funds.
Awesome. And so it's really building out, like I said, DeFi mortgage, but also tapping on NFT finance, right? So financing for NFTs. The NFT fi is a space that has largely been like lightly tapped on, and especially on Ethereum, which is the largest NFT space. NFT fi, it's still a relatively niche field, right? In that on ETH, right? So I think on Cronos itself, where NFTs, actually a lot of Cronos NFTs are very retail friendly, right? In terms of the price points, right? And then being able to infuse, right, NFT fi into NFTs on Cronos allows all Crow fam to have more, right, utilities, more things that they can do with their NFTs on Cronos. Right, so perhaps before I end of this discussion with Pwn, right, Steve, do you have any like final words from your side?
Yeah, I guess just that we're really happy to be here. One of the upcoming use cases we have that we'll be highlighting soon is with Vino Finance, obviously one of the primary stakers of Crow. We're really excited to showcase that loan here in the near future. I was just even looking at Vino's site before, and we're hoping to add some utility here because it says there's currently 2 ways to utilize the Vino Claims NFT, and I think I'll have to reach out to someone, add that there's a third, and that'll be that you can use it as collateral to get some liquidity against, so you can keep your staking as leveraged up as possible, I guess, or maybe not leveraged up. I know that term is a little dangerous, but I think you guys get the purpose there.
Yeah, that would be really cool. So for more context, Vino is a liquid staking platform on Cronos where you can stake Crow and get a token called Crow, which then you can use across DeFi applications. And then right now, with the partnership with Pwn, sounds like you'll be able to use the liquid Crow, right, as a collateral to borrow more funds. And like what Steve said, essentially you are leveraging on your staked Crow position. And so it opens up much more interesting use cases, right, when it comes to like DeFi composability and how tokens can be used across protocols. So Steve, really great to have you here with us today, and awesome to see Pwn, right, completing your mainnet integration this week. So for users who first time hearing about Pwn, which I believe a lot of Crow fam first time hearing about you guys, right, check out their Twitter, check out their website, join their Discord, and find out more of what you can use your NFTs or other tokens, any ERC20 tokens as collateral to borrow more assets, right? But always be careful of any liquid of any form of leverage, right? Because it's always dangerous to to leave up on positions. Right, so thanks for joining us, Steve. Okay, so last but not least, with our AMA, we have Vas from Krystal Wallet. How's it going? Give a quick introduction about yourself and the project.
Sure. Thanks a lot, Jay, for bringing me on. So yeah, my name is Vas. I'm the CMO at Krystal. What is Krystal? It is in the simplest words, it is a Web3 wallet. The space of Web3 wallet essentially is, I would say, there are so many Web3 wallets. So you might ask, why do we need another wallet in itself? So the inspiration behind creating this new wallet for us essentially was the fact that onboarding into Web3 was something which we ourselves experienced to be very complicated. It required a very steep learning curve. There were so many different new terms, new phrases that everyone needed to be familiar with. And that we felt is not an easy way to onboard the next generation of people into the Web3 space itself. And that is why we aspire to build the simplest Web3 wallet out there. How do we do that? We have we have taken up different steps of the user journey, looking at what are the key basic features that they need in their exploration of the Web3 space. And we have tried to identify what are the challenges at each of those steps and simplified those. So, right, starting from the first step of onboarding users into Web3, using Krystal, users can create a new wallet with 2 clicks. Uh, if they do not, if they are not comfortable with writing down their seed phrases, writing down their private keys, they can also use the option of creating a new wallet using a social login. So thereby simplifying the entire experience for the users to enter into Web3. Other than that, then after that, you need to provide users a simple way of managing their portfolio itself, being able to track their assets. That itself was a big pain point we ourselves experienced. And that is something which we are actually very proud of, what we have built so far. It is our portfolio management gives a very comprehensive view of all your assets on Cronos chain, obviously, but along with Cronos chain, all the other EVM chains as well. You can track all your tokens, all your NFTs. You also have access to your transaction history, which is very difficult, especially if you are operating multi-chain. To get transaction history across multiple chains is very difficult for a user right now. So we provide that level of visibility to the users at one place. And following with that, having understood what your portfolio is comprised of, we realize that users also need to do multiple on-chain transactions, be it simple transactions like a transfer or a swap. We do provide that natively. Along with that, we also provide different passive income options. That particular feature, unfortunately, right now is not available on Cronos, because the partners that we work with, they are supporting only some of the other chains. But those are some of the use cases which we have been working on to simplify for the users, so that we can onboard the next generation of users into Web3.
Right. So, obviously, you guys are solving one of the greatest problem in the space today, right? The onboarding UX has been very painful in the past bull cycle, right? That's why I think it's very difficult to onboard non-crypto natives, because the first part of the experience is having this seed phrase. Like, what is a seed phrase to a non-crypto native, right? Most people are only familiar with passwords. So it sounds like you guys are solving this very noble challenge of onboarding the next wave of users by optimizing this UX experience for end users. So perhaps one question from me, I'm also quite curious. So let's say I'm a heavy MetaMask user at the moment. What are the key reasons why a user will switch to Krystal Wallet? What makes them switch and what makes them stick to Krystal Wallet?
Perfect. Great that you asked me that question, actually. So see, if a user who is already a heavy MetaMask user, I would assume the first step that I just now explained a little more in detail of the onboarding part, wherein you don't need to write down your seed phrase, or you can log in using your Gmail, that is not really a challenge. Because if you are a MetaMask user, you would have already become familiar with those initial steps. But what you still might find challenging is, let's say, for example, you have assets on multiple chains. It is very difficult for you to track what assets you have on each of the different chains. You need to go and add new custom chains if needed. keep on switching from one chain to another to just see what are the assets in your portfolio. That is very easily solved by us. Second thing that I earlier also highlighted upon, the transaction history part, which is not available on MetaMask so easily, that you can see the entire transaction history, and you can also actually download it as a CSV file from Krystal to do your own analysis, whatever you need to. We also provide many on-chain transactions, the basic ones which MetaMask also provides, like transfer, swap, those are obviously there. We also have recently launched our cross-chain swap. Unfortunately, again, Cronos is unfortunately not included because, again, that is in partnership with one of the partners who has not yet integrated with Cronos chain, but that is a feature that differentiates us from MetaMask. A couple of other things that I would highlight on. One is a security feature that we recently launched, which is called the revoke token approval feature. So as a user, let's say I am a regular user in the Web3 space, I would be interacting with many different protocols. I would be giving approvals, token approvals to many different protocols. I have myself experienced that many of these protocols I have given approval to maybe 6 months, 1 year ago, but I do not use them anymore. And in case there is any exploit that happens on that particular protocol, my assets come at risk. So we have built a tool inbuilt within the wallet itself, which lists down all the token approvals that you have given in your entire wallet's history. And we give a very simple, easy way for you to revoke those token approval at any point in time. So that clearly helps user in keeping their funds secure. Other than that, we have launched one of the MVP versions of a new feature, which I would say makes us stand out, not only specific from MetaMask, but which makes us stand out from all the wallets out there, which we call Liquidity Lens. It is essentially a tool for liquidity providers to track their liquidity positions on Uniswap. So let's say we notice that a lot of our users are liquidity providers. They need a tool to track their positions and doing the calculations of what is my PNL, what is my impermanent loss, what is my APR. Those itself were so complicated that a lot of our users were complaining about it. So we have built the initial MVP version already, and which was launched last month, for users to make it easier for them to track their liquidity positions, which I would say is quite a groundbreaking innovation in itself, which none of the wallets are able to support right now.
Right. Awesome. And so it sounds like you guys are taking very cool features from very different products, right? For example, like revoke cash, right? Revoking approvals, right? Like DBank, cross-chain, portfolio view, getting a view of your LP position. I think those are very interesting features. And it's good that you guys, as a wallet provider, which I think most people that are using crypto are staring at their wallet most of the time, right?
Yeah.
I think having these features definitely very helpful. Plus, if you can share what you guys are working on in the coming, like what big features will you guys be pushing out that you think would be something very interesting for Krystal in the coming month, coming sprints?
So on this, I would share like a couple of features I would tie back to the previous question itself. So one of the features that I mentioned that I personally also actually am very excited about is the liquidity lens feature, which helps users track their liquidity positions. So that, as I mentioned to you, we have just launched the MVP version right now. So we are building on top of it. We would be adding more pools to it. We would be adding more features to it to make it stronger, to make it more comprehensive for the users to be able to track their assets. A second one is related to the token approval feature that I mentioned about. But essentially, using that token approval feature, we are building a bigger set of security features to ensure that users are able to keep their assets secure, called the risk scanner, which will essentially scan all your uh, all your wallets and tell you what are at which protocols that you've given access to are at what levels of risk. And based on that, you can decide whether you want to revoke access to all the protocols or some of the protocols, or how do you want to do it. But along with these two, one of the other challenges that we identified that a lot of users face is, let's say I have assets in my wallet. Let's say I want to do some transactions, or I am open to do some transactions, but we heard our users saying that, hey, I don't know when or what type of transactions to do. When should I uh, take a strong long position or short position on a particular asset? So we are actually building a feature to deliver actionable insights to our users. It will not be financial advice. Obviously, we cannot do that, but it will be insights which will help users take an action and improve their portfolio positions over time. So there are a bunch of ideas around that, which we are working on already. It would be a little too early for me to go into more details of what those are, but what I would say to our audience who is listening over here is just stay tuned. Very soon you will see us rolling out new features which will help you in taking those actions very easily. There will be insights which will be delivered directly to you, which will be custom to your particular portfolio that you are holding, and allow you to take proper actions at the right time.
Right. Okay, understood. And it sounds like, your North Star, it's pretty interesting, right? Number one, it's to make sure that all the features that are highly valuable by on-chain users who want in a wallet are there in Krystal Wallet, and building out, like targeting like traders, liquidity providers, but also users who wants to interact securely on chain, right? To be able
Yes,
to revoke approvals
exactly.
easily, have call to actions. I think that's very, very valuable features, right? So
Because
for all
at the end of the sorry, because at the end of the day, even for traders and the liquidity providers, security is a paramount focus. It is something that is, especially given the number of scams, exploits, hacks that keep happening in the crypto space, a lot of users are very scared. So if you do not provide these security features, it is a big concern for the users, which needs to be tackled by us.
Awesome, and awesome to see you guys treating security so seriously, which it needs to be, right? And for this
Yeah.
space to grow, and for more people to trust the whole DeFi space in general, right? I'm really happy that you are sharing about what Krystal Wallet is doing to help this space grow, and I think it's really great that you guys are tackling this problem. And so for all of the users who are tuning in today or will be watching this replay, right, to check out Krystal Wallet on their Twitter, right, head to their website to check out their wallet, or even get access to the Krystal Wallet yourself if you have not yet to. Right, so thanks, Vas, for coming on and share more about Krystal Wallet. Right, very, very insightful. So I
Thank
see
you,
that
Jay.
we have, yeah, awesome. So I see that we have 5 minutes left. I have collated a couple of questions which I saw on Twitter and on the YouTube comments. Right, first one from Texas Holder Crow. Right, when is Loaded Lions coming into the stream? Right, so Texas Holder Crow, it's one of the Cronos ambassador and a big Loaded Lion holder. Right, so Loaded Lions, we will probably be getting in touch with them, probably getting them on, hopefully, when the upcoming main city is at close to launch, right? So stay tuned. I'll definitely be reaching out to the Loaded Lion fam, the community, and see if we can get them on in the upcoming streams. Okay, so next question from the Twitter is like, when is Cronos L2? Maybe Ken, you want to take this?
Yeah, so we had communicated a few weeks ago that already it is possible for application developers to create application-specific layer 2 blockchains using optimistic rollup technology. And that is made possible by a partnership that we have established with a startup called Caldera. So if you're an application developer and you go and see Caldera, they can help you to deploy an L2 in very easily and support it commercially. With that model, Cronos could support a bunch of layer 2s, each dedicated to a specific application developer, such as for a game or for social applications, while Cronos, the layer 1, would remain the settlement layer. At the moment, there are no application-specific L2s that are live yet. So if that's the question, I think typically creating an L2 is more like the next step once you have an application that generates enough user activity and volume on the L1. So that's how, if you think about the trajectory of DYDX, for example, or if you think about the trajectory of various games who have started on a chain and then moved to create their own chain, that's the pattern. So there is no L2 live yet, but the technology is available.
Okay, thanks, Ken. One more question for you from Skywalker939 on YouTube. Right. So when do we get some bridges like Exela, Layer 0, or Wormhole on Cronos?
Yeah, so we acknowledge that we've been very conservative with respect to encouraging decentralized bridges to be supported on Cronos, especially officially, and that was because of the security risks associated with bridges. Generally, we've encouraged users to go through Crypto.com, the custodial exchange, which makes it very easy and safe to transfer funds from Cronos to any other chain and vice versa. But we recognize that the landscape of bridges is maturing now, and so it's kind of a dance between various ecosystems when they decide to support each other. It has for both parties. And so very active discussions are ongoing, but if you want to help, you are always encouraged to actively voice your desire to see those bridges supporting Cronos in the governance forums, on Discord and on Twitter, and that always helps, particularly for Acceler and Layer 0, which we see as very promising technologies.
Right. So yeah, I think Ken, great answer there. Right. So we have come right on time to the end of the Cronos stream AMA. Right. So thanks everyone for tuning in. All the Crow fam who are watching this or will be watching the replay. And thanks to all our speakers for taking the time, right? 1 hour of your time today to come in to share about yourself, about your project. Right. Very great to have all of you here. Right. So thanks. And we do this every 2 weeks. Right. So remember to follow Cronos Twitter in order to get up to date on the next AMA. Right. Thanks everyone and have a good night.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Bye.